It was kind of challenging in high school because I am a trans woman. My mother passed away when I was 4, so my dad raised 7 kids by himself. I met my husband when I was a drag queen. We still together and very happy. My support group is for young trans women to learn how to be elegant and carry themselves as a lady. I'm still gorgeous. I'm still a diva.
Welcome to Season 6 of the Confessions Podcast. This season, we celebrate the strength, perseverance, and power of transgender women and transgender men living with HIV. April 18th marks National Transgender HIV Testing Day, a time to uplift awareness, encourage health, and honor the incredible trans women and trans men who are leading the way in their communities. But beyond just one day, visibility and recognition matter every single day. Trans women and trans men are thriving, creating change, and building spaces of love, support, and empowerment. This season, we bring you stories of courage, leadership, and the unbreakable spirit of the trans community, shaping the future. Join us as we listen and celebrate their voices. Because when we uplift trans women and trans men, we uplift us all.
My name is Venice Price, known as Mama Pepper. I am from San Diego. I was diagnosed 2002. I was 42 years old. I have been living with HIV around 18, 19 years. The 3 best words to describe me is lovable, a mother hen, and bossy. I was born in Torrance, California. I was raised in the Bay Area, Salinas and Seaside, California. I reside after that in Lemoore, California. That's by Fresno. I graduated from the high school in 77. It was kind of challenging in high school because I knew who I was, because I am a trans woman. Back then it was hard to let people know how you felt. That was back in the 70s and close to the 60s. So it was taboo to let people know that you felt as a different sex that you were born as. My young adult years, at the time I lived in Hanford, California. I was boy by day, woman by night. I hung out in the club, the Latino clubs at that. That was very exciting because I dated a lot of the cholos and the guys from, Mexico. And then when I moved to San Diego, that's when it was a change. I met my husband. He's African American. So it was a shock to my dad that I was going to marry an African American man, because my dad thought I was going to marry a Latino man. My transition, I started at the age of 35. I came to San Diego in 83. I was excited because there were more trans women that lived in San Diego, and I was excited. And I got to know a lot of them, and then that's when I started my journey. Because when I moved here, I was 27 years old. I did my transition when I was 35. I was in the clubs performing. I met my husband. So my husband went through it with me through my transition. I've been married to him now for 39 years. I'm still married to the man. It's exciting. My transition was hard because having 6 siblings that didn't understand. My oldest sister understood, my oldest brother understood, but my other sibling, it was hard for them to accept me. And it was hard for me because we were close. My mother passed away when I was 4, so my dad raised 7 kids by himself. Not receiving me, they don't talk to me. I don't talk to them to this day. Now, my 2 sisters, one lives in Washington, one lives in Memphis, Tennessee. The one in Washington, she'll call me when something bad happens, but my sister that lives in Memphis doesn't talk to me at all. My oldest brother, the brother that's left, he lived in San Jose. He talks to me, and how he accepted me was because of his wife. Her best friend was a trans woman. That's how my brother got to understand that all trans women doesn't have to do sex work. But now we get along, but the other two siblings, we very seldom talk. With society, it's smooth now because I guess I've looked the way I looked for so long. I don't have the problem of being misgendered. They say I'm passable. But other than that, it's hard. It's hard for all trans women. I don't care if you're passable or you're not. When folks find out your back history, then it can be a hurting thing for people to come at you very nasty. I've never had anything bad happen because I've met my husband, so I've never been a single woman. I met my husband when, as they called, I was a drag queen, so when he met me, we talked about me transitioning. So he, like I said, he went through the journey with me transitioning. I've had people talk nasty towards me, but not physical. I knew a little bit about HIV because I was wind up being a caregiver for a young lady, another young trans, but I didn't know that much. I went to classes to learn, and then when I learned about it, my situation happened to me. I was working at the airport and I was very, very tired. So the first thing I did is I went to get checked at. And the first thing I got checked for was cancer because I figured, cancer ran in my family. And then when I got tested for HIV, that's when they called me and told me to come back and then they told me, the doctor from the health department, that I was HIV positive. My reaction was very hurt and sad because the person that infected me was an ex-fiance, but he didn't marry me. He left me at the altar. So at this time I was married to my husband that I'm married to now. And I always say, thank God I didn't infect him. Because the ex, I went to him to talk to him because me and the husband was having a little problems in the marriage. So I figured to talk to him because he's a man. He took advantage of it. And I was very vulnerable because I figured, he's an old boyfriend and I'm safe with him. And told me that he would never hurt me. And then this happens. As I say again, thank God I didn't infect my husband. The first person I told was my husband. Wow. I felt that I let him down. That was the worst day of my life to tell him that. I felt that I disappointed him. I really had to show this man to get the trust back. Thank God that he was a man that was, as a minister, as I'm saying now, I'm going into my ministry mood, a radical loving man, because he could have just told me it's all over, it's done. So he came to me and he told me what kind of man would he be to leave me now that I was sick. We still together and very happy. I told my oldest sister, and with my oldest sister, it was like, oh, you're fine. You're gonna be all right. No judgment. That was the person that I can go and tell anything to. Currently, my oldest sister's no longer here, so I don't have anyone to go and run and tell all my business to. Relying on therapists now when I'm going through things to talk to. I felt that I was dirty. How can you be so desperate for sex and allow this to happen to you? I had to go through a process to realize that I am still human and I am somebody. And I'm not dirty. I have forgave the person and the person's no longer here with us. That was the saddest thing about it because I was about to press charges because the person knew that they were HIV positive, AIDS really. They found the person 2 weeks later deceased in their apartment. That was a hurting thing because I wasn't able to tell them that I forgave them. I forgive them 100. You have to forgive. The position that I'm in, I have to forgive. Me, been diagnosed with cancer. As a trans woman, even though we have bottom surgery, we still have our prostate. So I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I'm fine now. It was just a few months ago in October of last year, 2024. I am fine, went through chemo. I'm very spiritual and I thank God. My husband's had 5 heart attacks. He's still here. So we've been through a lot. Mama Pepper. That came when I started my support group called Diamond in the Rough. My support group is for young trans women to learn how to be elegant and carry themselves as a lady. I am that motherly type. If I see a young lady that's not acting ladylike, I will give you that look, and I feel that you should straighten up. That's how I got Mama Pepper. And like I said, the young ladies look up to me, and I'm grateful for that. The place that I've learned everything is San Ysidro Health. I became a Rafiki. I had to go to a lot of trainings about HIV and AIDS. After that, I branched off by myself. I wound up going to Washington, D.C. to a training for trans women to be at the table. I'm also the HIV planning group here in San Diego. That's how I learned everything about HIV and my meds. I'm still gorgeous, I'm still a diva, but it's just waking up in the morning, trying to get up, and my legs gotta sit there on the side of the bed and tell the legs, come on, let's work, we got things to do. And you have to learn how to eat proper, and that can get frustrated because I love my burgers. What influenced me to go with my status is because I had got evicted in an apartment in El Cajon City. I was in my 40s. I had just barely got diagnosed, and that's when I was trying to keep it hid. That's when I started coming public, when I got evicted out of that apartment. Because if I would have came forward to let people know that I was HIV positive, to throw me out of the apartment, it became back in my favor because there were some things that happened and the place got sued and I got some money back. But I wanted to be more forceful because I started seeing, as I say, my siblings, trans siblings. So I decided to be a voice. And I'm glad I did decide to be a voice because now I don't know what's going to happen, but now as the time we know that Ryan White didn't pay for the girls' hormones. Now they pay for the girls' hormones because I was at that table fighting. Even though I'm an older young lady. I just fought because I'm worried about the younger girls. My ministry work. I am in the process of renewing my license because I got my license last year. So it's, every year you got to process. I was raised in Pentecostal movement. But you know, in the Pentecostal movement, as a trans woman, I'm not going to heaven. And I had to learn that to have a personal relationship with God myself. So the ministry that I'm in, we have a trans ministry. It's called Unity and it's worldwide. It's in LA. That's how I heard about this organization that I'm talking to you guys now. My medication has been very helpful. I'm very insistent of taking my meds. My doctor says that I'm a boring patient because he can't fuss at me about anything. I'm a type of a person, if I feel that something is not right, we're going to go see the doctor. This is the 3rd time that I changed my medication, but they all been good for me. Daily challenges. You think a lot. You think about when you do go, what is people going to say about you? How many people know that you had HIV? It's more mental challenge for me. I still have the good support. My husband is still a supporter. He's more pushy now because he knows I'm very open about my status. He hears that people calls me to come and speak. I still have a lot of support. I don't want to be so spiritual or holy, but my main support is praying. I pray a lot. I have no fear of the political climate. That's the way I feel because of the faith that I have. But I feel that if people would stay focused and we just keep on fighting, we can win. We can overcome this. Things that they're doing to sidetrack us. That's the way I feel about it. My first success in life, me being a minister, because they said as a trans woman I couldn't be a minister. My second accomplishment in life is me having my support group, Diamond in the Rough. What brings me good happiness is being in church ministry, the church ministry that I'm in, and loving people and seeing people with smiles on their face. I enjoy doing my makeup, going shopping, buying shoes. That's it. My goals is starting that support group for trans women with HIV and farther in my ministry. If you're a trans woman and you're listening to Mama Pepper, love yourself, think about yourself, be around positive people that will love you and cherish you. I want people to remember me as Mama Pepper. She was cool, she can dress, she was a diva, she loved it everybody, especially the babies.
As we honor the trans women and the trans men in this season, we celebrate their strength, courage, and determination. Their voices, their stories, and their existence matter today, tomorrow, and always. Trans visibility is more than recognition. It's about ensuring that trans women and trans men have access to healthcare, safety, and the respect they deserve. It's about celebrating their leadership, their joy, and their undeniable impact in shaping a better world. We hope these conversations have inspired you, challenged you, and reminded you that we all have a role to play in creating a more just and inclusive society. Now, more than ever, we must be stronger allies, listening, supporting, and standing alongside the transgender community in the fight for equity and dignity. Thank you for listening. Share these stories, continue the conversation, and most importantly, take action. Because visibility is power, and trans women and trans men are unstoppable.